Dr. Disrespect's channel just up and got deleted. Just completely shut down.
Yep.
Not in a in a very definitive way. I mean, and just gone. The page is just not there. So, the crazy thing is, this news is almost a week old now. At this point. I think it happened like last Friday.
Yeah.
So, and in that time, there has been very little development about that situation whatsoever. In fact, the only thing that the only public statement the doc said, and this was days after it happened too, which is also telling, but he came out and said that he was not informed by Twitch in any capacity that it was going to happen, or nor in after the fact why it happened in the first place. So, so first of all, the things that make this most intriguing are, one, assuming that Doc wasn't told anything yet, kind of narrows down what could have happened that Twitch would do that. Part two to that is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they refunded the current subscribers to Doc.
Yep.
I didn't look. I was like I had a sub running on his channel, but so they refunded that. And correct me if I'm wrong, that's never happened before to a banned channel that I'm aware of. That's also telling. That's like so what that tells me, just from the sub refunding thing, is that Twitch is not only trying to cut ties as fast as possible with the Doc, they want to be separated from him financially. They don't even want to show that they were allowing people to monetize through him on their platform because of this refund. Which again kind of narrows it down to like what could possibly have resulted in this happening. There are loads of theories floating around, and I mean, everyone has been theorizing. You've been seeing major streamers on Twitter. Everyone's wondering what the fuck is going on. It's very strange that Twitch would do this to Doc. They just signed Doc for Lord knows how much money, and like not that long ago. And so for this to be so complete so quick, I Bro, I don't know. What do you? I want to know. What are your thoughts on this? On this? Because I have lots of thoughts. But what are your thoughts on this situation, Mr. Black?
Now I don't know any insider information. So
neither of us do.
This is all speculation.
Can I say one more thing before you start? You know, probably one of the dumbest and most shitty things I've seen so far in the last week. How many people are coming out and saying, "I know what it is. I just can't say anything about it." The amount of fucking social media clout chasing, when I promise you they probably know dick, is just, if you know anything, people would be running their mouth like crazy, with the exception of they'd be afraid that their whole life would come to a fucking end legally if they said anything. But these people talking, they don't have an NDA they're under. They're just saying they know some shit so they can get some social media clout and chase that bitch before the news comes out. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
So my theory is, first off, I don't believe for a minute that Doc doesn't know why he's not banned. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
Neither do I.
He knows. Whether Twitch told him or they didn't tell him, he knows. Now, the reason why I think that way, there's two reasons. The first is he is a multi-million-dollar signed on streamer through Twitch, which means they aren't going to just, and his legal team, is not going to allow Twitch to just end contracts, delete his channel, and say nothing to him in the process and leave him in the dark. There is a 0% chance.
I'd be more inclined to believe he knew nothing if he made a comment immediately. But the fact that he waited, that there was days, tells you that he is
his lawyers.
His lawyers said you can
said,
say this.
Yeah, exactly. His lawyers are saying, "Hey, we're gonna." My theory is it's very serious. I don't know what it is. So like, you know, there's rumors that he was reaching out to Shroud and Ninja and creating their own streaming service, and he's trying to get other streamers to like jump on board of this, and Twitch found wind and blah blah blah. You know, that story is just about as relevant as, you know, Spotify starting up a streaming service and was trying to pouch a Doc, and there's a reason why Ninja and Shroud didn't want to re-sign with Facebook, because they knew that this thing was going to go down, and it's just too much of a convenience and a perfect storm. What I think is something happened behind the scenes, something very serious, or Twitch found out about something very serious, and they just axed everything before they got caught protecting somebody about something, as in like, hey, you signed this streamer and, you know, this person has done this. What that is, I have no clue. But I do know that there is a very, 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 very small chance he has no idea. And not only that, if Twitch didn't tell him, he fucking knows. Personally, he knows. You just don't one day have your channel removed.
There's nothing something so massive that would have his channel removed that he wouldn't already know about, or have pretty good guess.
Yeah, shit they found out about this, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, if you were a fucking drug lord and you and I'm not saying he is, but I'm making an analogy here.
Yeah.
You say you're a drug lord and you're chilling on the beaches of Mexico and or the Bahamas or wherever the hell you're chilling, wherever fucking they do when they go and get loaded and they just go to an island somewhere, and then all of a sudden a helicopter comes in and FBI agents come and take you, and you're gone, and they're not telling you why. I think you got a pretty good idea why you're probably getting fucked right now. Oh, maybe it's because you're a drug lord, you know? So my guess is if they didn't tell him, they told his lawyers, and his lawyers told Doc, and that's just the show. I also believe that the reason why he's not saying anything, Twitch isn't saying anything, is because whatever Twitch has on him, they probably got to make sure for certain that they have him dead to rights before they break the contract, because, you know, Doc would sue them not only for hurting his reputation and his brand and smearing his brand, but also halting everything that he's done and the agreement that they had. So the only thing that I can think of is Doc broke the contract in some way, shape, or form. That could be as small as, I don't know. It could be as small as, I don't know, to as large as, I don't know. But my guess is it had to have been something pretty big. Something as big as him starting his own streaming service or going behind their back and trying to like convince people to like jump ship all at the same time and do something sneaky behind closed doors, because it would make sense, because Twitch wouldn't want that to get out. They want to protect they have every right to protect their streamers. But once again, this is all speculation. The other thing is, another reason why I think Doc knows is because 8 minutes before his last stream ended, I don't know if you watched this video.
I watched the last 8 minutes, yeah.
But, I mean, he's just chilling, doing his thing. Next thing you know it, he gets a text message, it looked like. He reads it, and his whole fucking, like, it looks like...
He breaks character for about 45 seconds to a minute after that, and then dumps back into character for the rest of it.
And you can see just almost the color of his skin, everything, just like, it's that gut-sinking news. He knows something is up. He snaps out of it. Then he's watching a video, and he is just like, zoned in and thinking about whatever. It looked like his wife came into the room and he's like, no, I need a minute. Like, no, not yet. I know. And then at the end is the craziest part. Starts talking about something about a guy that was all about these conspiracy theories. And then he said, guys, we're going to get through this together. It's a weird time. And he's emotionally broken up about it. He's, it's a crazy story because it's like it's all shrouded in mystery. But he 100% knows what's going on. If he would have just got the news, hey, on the text, your channel's going down, he would have been his reaction would have been like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And it wouldn't have been like a deadpan, oh my God, shit is about to get real, and then say what he said. So I think he knows. I'm almost certain he would know. If he doesn't, that is insanity to the bajillionth degree. And yeah, that's whatever it is. Everybody's lawyered up and it's very quiet. And that is impressive in itself in a day and age where everything comes out. So the fact that everybody, not only Twitch management, journalists, people on the inside, Doc himself, everybody is super quiet. There's a legal fight happening right now. And until that legal battle is done, or at least there's a definitive branch on where it's going, nobody's going to know anything. But eventually it's going to come out. 100%. It's going to come out.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I mean, short of almost it was brought to my attention because this is a U.S. specific thing, but it was brought to my attention that while it is a small possibility, and I'm close to where you are in terms of a business deal that was counter to his current contract with Twitch. The other side of it is that if the feds were involved in whatever is going on, then they are capable of gagging Twitch and Doc until the because it's an ongoing investigation and nobody says anything. So the very small chance you're talking about Doc not actually knowing what's going on would be if there's a gag order on Twitch to not tell Doc because an investigation is happening, and if Twitch saw enough evidence leading into that ahead of time that they wanted to distance themselves from Doc as far as possible before, just even if there was a chance,
yeah,
that would be it. That is a small... It could be a reality, but it's a tiny chance. I think it's a much bigger chance that it's business related, and I felt that way pretty much immediately because the list of things that the feds would be involved with in which there'd be a gag order would just be very shocking to me that he would be involved in any of that kind of situation. And so I would say that you know what? I think it is a streaming company related thing.
I don't, because, and here's the reason why I don't.
I don't think it's Spotify or something like that, but the reason why I think it's that way is because, like, Doc has jokingly talked about that kind of a thing and involved certain other major streamers in discourse with that in character for, like, the last year in various capacities. And if there's one thing that wouldn't shock me is that if it wasn't a streaming platform, it was something that would be enough of a competitive nature to Twitch that it'd be a conflict of interest that Twitch would then cancel the contract and send him on his way. But it has to be, if it is a business thing, the reason why I think it's that big, or even though that seems super far flung, is because I can't imagine Twitch would refund all the shit and go through like all that extra money and effort to distance themselves from him unless the business deal, whatever it was particularly counter to his contract and in competition with Twitch. I don't understand, or I couldn't think of any other business circumstance in which it would lead Twitch to do what they have done, especially the refunding of the subs to financially distance themselves from Doc.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Twitch did make an announcement, or not even an announcement, but somebody was contacted within Twitch, and I saw that their reply was, he was basically removed because of terms of service.
That's a broad fucking brush for as far as Twitch is concerned, though. TOS
Yeah.
with Twitch is a fucking
Yeah.
mile-long brush.
So and this is from what I'm seeing on Twitter. So I mean, it could be true, it could be false. I'm
pretty sure I saw the same thing. I think that
yeah.
was a release of some kind. Yeah.
Okay, because from what I read, it was said is like, hey, no matter how big or small the streamer is, everybody has the certain guidelines. And
well, they mentioned that when they signed him, because people were questioning them signing him because of the things that he had done in the past, and that's they had said similar things then, where they said, just because we're signing him doesn't mean that he is not under the same rules as everyone else. And if he slips up, he's just as liable to be removed.
But I mean, when you think about it, right? Even when you break terms of service like that, does it really warrant not addressing it or telling why the person got banned in the first place? Like, when you get banned, or when people get a 24-hour ban, 7-day ban, indefinite ban, they're usually given an email, and it tells you like what the rule break is.
Yes.
It kind of shows you like the part of the stream where you've done or said something or did something that you weren't supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then you're told, it's 7-day, 24-hour, or permanent, or whatever. The fact that they didn't say that to him, or at least that's what he's saying, it would have to be something very serious. And also on top of that, would it be against terms of service if Doc actually had a conversation with Ninja and Shroud and whoever else?
Less TOS and more probably his contract after the buyout, like Twitch buying him for the platform. I don't think it's a TOS thing at all.
Yeah.
I think it's been, and the reason why I also think it's that, and they also aren't talking about it, is that if it is something like that, Twitch is not going to want to give any more credence or platform to whatever business deal Doc might be brewing up right now by talking about that publicly and saying that was the reason why, because it might just light an even bigger fire under whatever business deal that could be to make it happen, if that makes sense to you.
There were 2 or 3 credible sources that are usually pretty freaking bang on about stuff.
Yeah.
They said that they found out what it was. It was extremely
bad, and he was done not just on Twitch but everywhere.
He was done indefinitely, as in no more Doc on any streaming platform. It's over.
Yeah.
And to the point where they didn't even feel comfortable stepping out of line to say what it is. So if that is true, it's definitely not trying to go behind Twitch's back and poach streamers. That doesn't, I mean, that would be a shitty thing to do and a very slimy thing to do when you've done I hate to use the bad pun, but a firm handshake on a big Twitch deal, just not 2 months beforehand.
That would absolutely break the contract. Look, without fucking question.
But to never stream on a platform again, and it's so bad that his career's finished. No, fuck no. In fact, there'd probably be a lot of fans that'd be like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm for this." Go and start your own platform and do your own thing, and try and create the next big thing. So I don't, from the credible sources that, if anybody knew or had an idea, they would know. I just can't believe that would be it. And I could believe that Twitch would shut him down, but I don't think it would be as hush hush. There's a lot of, and think about it, the other streamers that would quote unquote be in talks with Doc, they would also be banned as well. You know what I mean? So like and when you think about it, if it's just Shroud and Ninja, if it's just those two, which I think if it was Doc, he'd be talking to a lot more than just Shroud and Ninja. You know, I don't want to name bomb people. I'm going to say those two because they're not on the platform currently. But
Yeah.
there are other people that
It
are
would be
close to
obvious
Doc.
who he would be talking to, I think.
Yes, and if they found out or they got leaked emails or Discord information or an insider came and spilled the beans, these other streamers would have been axed too. You know what I mean? It wouldn't just be Doc, because then you'd be just targeting one streamer, and that would have precedence for the lawyers to go, hey, you know, you singling out. You wanted him removed off the platform for whatever reason because you just didn't want to pay up or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but you know, a lot of people would be taking a very big risk, and it just doesn't seem like the go-to thing. I am more inclined to believe that it's something a lot more serious. Have no idea what it is. You know, so
well, all the signs read extraordinarily criminal. In terms of how guarded the people you're talking about that I mentioned on Twitter, like Sacriel's wife, was probably the only one that I would give any credence to, personally.
Slasher said stuff.
I don't give a fuck. Dude, I gotta keep it 100. Slasher's as accurate as he is inaccurate, and Slasher says some pretty crazy shit to get him his own brand going a lot of the time. It's not to say that he may not know or whatever, but I would be less inclined to believe him than I would believe somebody else in this situation. But but it's just like you said earlier, when you're watching the last 8 minutes, the cell phone thing, the change in demeanor, everything, the way that he talked about some shit.
It's eerie.
The thing that like makes like that spins it even crazier is the mention of Ike or Ikey or whatever the guy's name is, the conspiracy theorist. Like there's so many like sprinkled in seasoned crazy shit about this whole situation that none of it makes sense, like at all to me. And the thing about Twitch doing what they did is that even if it wasn't criminal, if he did breach contract, everything they've done to this point is 100% within their right, and they could do that. Yep. So just them doing it, I'm hesitant to use that as a signal that it is something super criminal and crazy.
Yeah.
Because Twitch right now, as we discussed last week, is just like the house you visited earlier today, or in this week, a 6-alarm, all hands on deck fire right now. And they can't take any fucking hits of any kind right now. And so it's almost as believable to me that it could be bad, absolutely. But I feel like Twitch is going to be pulling or not pulling, but hitting hard, fast punches on anything that they think could add to the fuel on this already nearly out of control PR disaster that they have on their hands right now. Which they still haven't said, by the way. They haven't really, in the last week, they haven't really said all that much in regards to the ongoing situation. Short of what we discussed last week, there hasn't been really, to my knowledge, any other announcement, any other discussion around it, any actionable things they're planning, like nothing to this point. So
it's wild.
It's fucking wild. There's so many curveballs all over the place, and you know, maybe we're gonna find out. Maybe we won't even fucking ever know. This could be something that we don't ever fucking know.
Oh, we'll know for sure.
Do you think somebody's gonna crack before it hits the courts? If there is like unless it was, because it's possible it never hits the courts, and they could just do arbitration outside and then just settle outside of court so that it isn't public.
Yeah.
And that would benefit possibly both Doc and Twitch, depending on what the situation is.
I mean, people have tried to do some detective work, and they tried to see if he got arrested or anything like that. And apparently he was not arrested. Some people had a theory that the police or the feds were outside of his house. And the text message was from his wife saying, hey, the feds are here. And then, you know, you could hear him like sort of listening and you could hear what's going on in the house. And it was like a really weird, it was just eerie, and people were trying to decipher what was going on, but there's like no public records of an arrest or anything like that. If it was like super serious and if it was with the feds, then it would probably be under wraps. And in order for Twitch to really ban him and stuff, like they would have needed to go to him to go to Twitch with like very, very concrete evidence before they could just flat out ban him and just basically destroy his career without his knowledge. And obviously also there is like, innocent until proven guilty as well. So also on one end, I don't think it has anything to do with criminal. I don't know. That's the thing. I could sit here and come up with theories all the time, but at the same time, Doc seems like a good dude. It's just it's bizarre. It's bizarre.
I mean, I don't personally know Doc, and it's not like it's without precedent that people have been very good at hiding crazy tendencies in the past. But we're talking about a guy who already came out and told the world that he cheated on his wife, and they reconciled that shit publicly and took all the heat for that and continues to take all the heat for that. It would be no, obviously not impossible, but odd to me that there would be something far more serious than that situation for him to result in that. I just can't it's you never.
I don't know, but infidelity is also not illegal. It's not a
it's something that somebody would that people are looking at and going, if he's capable of this, then obviously you should have seen this coming.
No,
but that's
fuck that, dude. So if there's infidelity, it doesn't mean that you're a
serial
criminal
killer.
or you're a serial killer or some fucking crazy criminal thing. It's just everybody has relationship problems. It's their business. It's not a fun thing. It's not something that you should celebrate by any means. And really, it's none of the public's business, to be honest with you. So kudos to him to come out and man up, and maybe somebody learned something from it and not go down the same path as what he did relationship wise and made those mistakes. But that's his business. Just because someone did that doesn't mean I'm immediately going to think like, oh, he's capable of worse. Oh, if he did this, then man, I wouldn't put it past him. It's like, dude, I'm not a judge. I'm not going to judge other people. I don't know him like that. So all I can say is this: I hope him and his family are safe and they're okay. And by the his wife tweeted out and said like, "Hey, thanks for all the support. We're good." So they're safe. His family's safe. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. Hopefully the community and his fans get answers, because, there's a lot of people that have watched him for a long time that are very attached to him and are concerned for him. So I'm sure you'll hear something at some point. But at the end of the day, I also think that people should be mindful of speculation and just throwing out rumors, because it's not fair to him. It's not fair to his family. If you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So you just can't come up and the elephant in the room is there's a lot of this Me Too stuff going on right now. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's a weird time. It's great that all this stuff is coming out and things like that, but at the same time, just because this happens, you can't just immediately insert him or somebody else into a situation because it's a coincidence in terms of timing. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to anybody involved. So hold out with the speculation stuff. You can figure. Just don't make it seem as factual, because nobody knows the truth except for him, his family, the lawyers, and Twitch. Maybe really, really close business partners, and that's really about it. But at the end of the day, all the vile stuff, keep that out of your mouth until you figure out what the truth is.
And the court of public opinion is strong right now, and that's why if you're gonna, it's not criminal to speculate, but some people are speculating in ways that make it seem like they're accusatory speculations. Yeah. And that's, you got to keep that in check, because it just, it has the possibility of damaging somebody further, with a very real possibility that. And what you're accusing them of is nothing to do with the situation. But if people don't follow the whole story and find out for themselves later, they can just take that on assume that that's the case, never think anything more of it, and then just associate that with the person that you're accusing. So wait and see. Wait and see.